It's time to have a real talk about DJ Akademiks.
DJ Akademiks and Charlamagne the God are officially at war, and day one did not go well for Charlamagne the God. Akademiks is digging up a lot of disturbing things that make Charlamagne the God look crazy. Honestly, Charlamagne the God brought this upon himself, so he ran to Akademiks to gossip about how he knows that there's people behind the scenes who are rallying and galvanizing to put false allegations on Akademiks, and Lauren LaRosa is one of those people. Rock Nation is the orchestrator of this investigation, and they're pulling in, let's say, Lauren LaRosa, Jeremy Hecht, and other people. They're pulling everybody in to go at Akademiks. So Charlamagne tells Akademiks this, and Akademiks is looking at Charlamagne a little weird, like, thank you for telling me, but like, you know this is going on, and those are your homies, and you not doing anything about it? He feels like Charlamagne the God is playing 50-50. And with the war being waged and people going at Akademiks, especially from Charlamagne the God's side of things, Akademiks is like, bruh, there's no bystander. I'm going at everybody involved over there, including you, if that's where you standing.
You know, they say heavy is the head that wears a crown. They've put out the hip-hop media list 4 times now. I'm batting a pretty good rate. Twice at number 1. What's the problem? Well, I'll tell you what the problem is. The severe belt to now, since most of those guys who used to feel like they had a chance at competing, they're all unemployed. They're also just kind of outside the fray. Like, they're just... I know y'all been like, Ak, why you haven't been streaming? Because I'm watching like these guys like trying to get some motion. It's really weak. And I've realized that these guys have gotten to the lowest I've ever seen. And almost to the point where I think people forgot who Akademiks is. And I'm going to start this all off by saying this, okay? I see and I hear what a bunch of y'all media niggas in hip-hop is doing, which is built purely out of jealousy for me and the platform and because we run this. And I want to let everybody know, the gloves is off. You know I love this part. We could all go to war.
Akademiks is not a victim. I am having this conversation because I think enough is enough. I think we've gone around the mulberry bush long enough with this DJ Akademiks, all shucks. One day he's the victim, the next day he's the relentless aggressor, and there is no distinction between the two. It's just whatever he feels that day. But I want to have this conversation, a real conversation, because we've gone a long way to F up everything that we hold dear in this media space and in this culture. I believe that assigning Akademiks as number 1 is the first mistake of the so-called culture. But gang, this ain't no culture no more. When we're dealing with the digital aspect of it, we're dealing with people who can be the worst of the worst, who can be the most viperistic, if that's a word, who can be the most devious and diabolical and get the most clicks to their page by any means necessary. That is what Complex is rewarding when they say you're number 1. And Akademiks holds that belt up proudly that he was selected as number 1 media for 2 different years not consecutively, but he was voted number 1 by that Complex staff twice, according to him, and in a few cases number 2, right? What does that mean? And I want to get to that. We got a whole lot to discuss. We're going to be here for a while, gang. Get you some peppermint patties or something. I don't know what to tell you, but we're going to be here for a while. Barbecue chicken, something, gang. This bothers me. I'm just going to be honest. Some things, gang, some people report on stuff, and I report on stuff that I don't care about. But this one is bothering me because I see where this is going. We're telling people you can be as skeevy as possible, then play victim. We've seen it with the bubble bath rapper and quite a few people. You can go out and be as heinous as you want, as obnoxious as you want, as scathing as you want to other people. And then when it's returned to you, you can crash out and be the worst person imaginable, and you will have people in your corner to defend you. Akademiks for years has been lashing out, trashing people's names, spreading gossip, and being just as ridiculous as he possibly can be. But now all of a sudden that Charlamagne allegedly called him and told him, Act, watch your back because people are out to get you. Now Akademiks has waged full-on war against the media and against Charlamagne. It's called hiding your hands, gang. And what I'm going to talk about, Academics somehow, some way has taken offense with Charlemagne the God, right, of the Breakfast Club fame, and I've been critical of both of them in the past several times. So this is not a either or. This is not a Challz, you're defending one or defending the other. I want to get to, it's not about Charlemagne in the slightest. This is about Academics, who can openly be declared the #1 media personality, but then can openly say, I'm going to go out of my way to put as much dirt and smut on my enemy's name, even if I don't know your enemy, or even if you're clearly not an enemy, because Charlemagne called him to give him a warning, a heads up, and by proxy, Charlemagne is being looked at as as part of the problem that he must destroy. You're going after a guy who literally called you to give you some insider information that they were coming after you, and his reward is to get trashed. I want to have this conversation because what's going on is DJ Akademiks is trying to make himself and the Grand Wizard chat nigga. I'm going to let you know who that is in case you don't know. But he's trying to victimize himself and make himself some kind of martyr, right? And this is what they do. This is what he's been doing for years. But it's getting to the point where he's getting rewarded for this. He will attack and attack and attack. And then when someone actually tries to put an end to the attacks, then he's going on full-on attack mode to defend himself, quote unquote. Now, I put on my Twitter the other day that basically he was coming out against Charlemagne, even though Charlemagne literally was trying to give him some game as to how to move and be careful in this industry. He came out against Charlemagne and told the world what happened, right? I put a post up, got 100 and something thousand views and a whole bunch of comments, and for the most part, most of these people were in defense of what Akademiks did. It doesn't make no sense, gang. When you are a grown up and a smarter person, and you start to realize sometimes you got allies, right? So he wanted Charlemagne to tell him exactly who was doing what, right? So, Lauren LaRosa's name came up in Akademiks' rant and this, that, and the third. But he wanted Charlemagne not only to tell him to watch his back because there is a concerted effort to take him out. He then wanted Charlemagne to tell him his source. Now, when Charlemagne wouldn't tell him his source, he decided, well, then I'm going to attack you and everybody else. Now, the problem with that is, why would he tell you his source? Because you're going to go right online and blast that source. Why would he put himself up like that? Why would he put his source out there like that? But Akademiks is not media. He doesn't understand. You don't give up your sources. You just tell somebody something off the record and they're supposed to shut their fucking mouth. But Akademiks doesn't understand that. So Akademiks wants to go full on scorched earth. But this is the problem. They both have been on edge with each other anyway. That fake frenemy bullshit was going to collapse at some point anyway. So Charlemagne and Akademiks have been back and forth trying to maintain this false relationship, but they both have it's a competitive nature, and Akademiks will smile and laugh and hee and haw haw, as will Charlemagne. But when the shit gets thick and it's time to roll in the mud, they're going to become the whole pig and every pig in the mud. So this is what Akademiks was waiting for. He has all this information, and what he told us himself, and what I don't respect about this so-called media's #1 stick that he's been stuck with, right? He's now the media #1 guy, but he told his attack dog, Grand Wizard chat nigga, to let it fly. Everything you got on Charlemagne, which means he has been stocking shit on Charlemagne. He has been stocking stories to attack Charlemagne for this very moment, and he's been holding them back. So he hit up Grand Wizard chat nigga when he actually decided, okay, it's on. It's time to destroy, quote unquote, destroy Charlemagne. And we're gonna get back to that word destroy. But he was going to now he's going to destroy Charlemagne. So now he gets his attack dog, the Grand Wizard chat guy, to go out and run all these stories, and they got it really smart because now they're making they're preferencing the attacks with Netflix podcaster Charlemagne. So my whole problem is, you're supposed to be media. You're supposed to be in this media space as a journalist. You are now an attack dog and a bully. And what the simple fact of it is, it's not about Charlemagne, because you've been doing this to Kendrick and everybody else. You've weaponized that Akademiks TV page that we've been complaining about for 2 years. You've weaponized that page against everyone. So you're not a victim, my guy. You're not a guy that needs to be protected. They do need to find out who this guy is, because let's just be honest. You, him, Drake, and the guy from Steak are all under investigation. You have 2 open lawsuits right now. Okay, so yes, they're going to find him and take pictures of him. So what it is, I haven't finished explaining to you guys what's going on. So after he got warned from Charlemagne, this, that, and the third, he discovered, or I don't know if Charlemagne told him or this, that, and the third, what happened, but his attack dog, who is the Grand Wizard chat N-word, right? It's a Asian guy. I believe he might live in Australia. I don't know where this guy lives, but he's not here, right? He has anointed him or appointed him as the controller of Akademiks TV. Now, if you know anything about Akademiks TV, they are it is one of the worst Twitter pages online. It is misinformation to the point that they have to retract shit. Akademiks is so out of control. Akademiks has let that thing run wild and put up some of the most heinous posts about Kendrick and everyone else as soon as this guy snaps his fingers, or if he doesn't. It gets so out of control that the Grand Wizard chat guy who controls that page, he writes the most heinous shit in defense of Tory, and we found out that they were low-key, let's just be honest, getting paid some kind of way to defend Tory too. So end of the day, Akademiks alliance and allegiance relies on if you're paying him or not. He just told us that little baby people paid him for his good words, and then when he got mad at him, he said, no, I'm going to destroy him. So this is Akademiks wields that site as a weapon against people. It ain't just about no Charlemagne. So this is the point that I'm making. Now Akademiks has decided that he's up against Charlemagne, and the Grand Wizard chat guy has been tapped to unleash all kind of holy hell. Now the problem with that is they're already under investigation for other shit with the stake thing. What happened is this pyramid scheme that Drake has dragged them into with stake. All of them get paid to pretend to gamble. They get their money back. The regular everyday people don't get their money back. They do. Okay, now Akademiks went years without trying to be a part of that, but he realized someday, I guess a couple months ago, that he's never going to get close to Drake until he starts gambling on stake. Drake has a constant pyramid that everybody that he wants to be around and be friends with him, low key, let's just be honest, call it what it is. They have to actually gamble on stake, and he gets a cut of that. Okay, top 5, Party Next Door, Aiden Ross is gambling on there, XQC, it's a bunch of people gambling on there, if I'm not mistaken, XQC, and there's a whole bunch of other ones that they get paid to go on there and use their influence on the internet to promote stake. And while promoting it, they gamble online. They gamble because streaming is the new shit for everybody to make their back, so they got to show themselves gambling. It is to influence young people and old people to jump into that cesspool over there of stakes and get caught up into that, and they get to lose their money while Drake and them gets reimbursed from the guy that owns it. Okay, so what had happened? Some people have made lawsuits and have named Akademiks, Drake, the Grand Wizard chat guy whose name is Stephen Gwynn, if I'm not mistaken, Gwynn, whatever you want to call it, and the owner of stake. They have open lawsuits. One was dropped. They still got 2 more. Okay, and they're saying that they're illegally gaming the system by using a term called sweepstakes coins to say you're winning a sweepstakes when in fact it is real money that people can play the games and get real money. Okay, so at that point, people have peeped that move and have decided to do lawsuits against them. Now, the pictures, someone running snap pictures of the Grand Wizard chat guy at the gas station, right? Big ass hoodie. He looks ridiculous. What you would expect, somebody that's sitting there all day making up these lies and stories and awful things to say about people. Because, gang, I can't even express to you how awful they are. And this guy is a disaster. I'm blocked, by the way. He blocked me personally. I am blocked. If I go to my channel, if I go to his channel, I can see his stuff, but I am blocked. I've been blocked for a while because I call out his shit. I've been blocked since last year. Okay, this is how far back this goes. But this guy, Grand Wizard chat guy, he constantly, this stuff is so egregious that even Akademiks has had to go on there and tell him to delete certain stuff and apologize. It's no holds barred. It is some of the most disgusting things you could say about another person. He says some of the most disgusting things about Kendrick and other people. If you're on Akademiks shit list, quote unquote, then you're going down by any means necessary, and they will not remove it unless it's absolutely necessary. They may get a call from a lawyer, or they may get something from the people online that comes at them so much that they may delete it, but they don't delete much, gang. So they wield this shit. It be lies and misinformation, a whole lot of stuff that they can just make up, post it, bong, is out there. And the Drake fans run with it, and the people that don't like you run with it, and that's what it is. So Akademiks has been weaponizing this Akademiks TV for years. Okay, he is not nobody's victim to be acting like the industry's against him. Well, let's just be honest. You've been weaponizing this shit so long. Yes, they probably will come out and start investigating you, trying to find shit on you, and they ain't got to look very far. There's a lot of nonsense about Akademiks that's public information, and we're gonna get into that. Okay, but end of the day, Akademiks got this warning from Charlemagne, okay? And Charlemagne, stupidly, right? Just stupidly, Charlemagne got to know that these two guys ain't really friends, because if he was your friend, he wouldn't be doing this to you, okay? So He got this warning from Charlamagne. I guess Charlamagne just talking, yo, Shaq, you better. Akademiks is not that. Akademiks not loyal. He will turn on you in the drop of a dime. Right? Charlamagne will turn too, but at least Charlamagne will keep it. He'll keep it a little bit classy. Akademiks ain't going to keep nothing classy. He's pulling up shit from Charlamagne from 20 years ago, shit that's been already exposed, explained this, that, and the third. Don't care. Once you start it all over, guess what? Social media, the shit just started, just like it happened yesterday, and they all over this guy now. The problem I don't have a problem with what Charlamagne can defend himself. I got a problem with Akademiks being able to be called media when he really only does a bunch of online shenanigans to destroy people's lives. He's been doing this since Meek Mill and before, and he's been with this War Chirac. That's how we heard of him, and ever since then he's been on a nonstop. If I like you, then I'm going to big you up, or if you pay me, I'm going to big you up. If you don't pay me, and if I don't like you, I'm going to bring up all your dirt. Meanwhile, this guy has some horrendous, absolutely horrendous charges against him, but he skates over that. He floats. He just keeps streaming, and the people keep watching. I just did a video on Dean the Great, how awful Dean the Great is. People got my comments. He's not so bad, Charles. You don't know. He's misunderstood. This is the society when a person that used to be 15 years ago or so, it was just, that's an awful person. I'm not watching that. Now he's an awful person. I can't miss an episode. We got all these people that constantly just make shows to disparage all kinds of people just because they don't like them. And it doesn't matter. It don't even matter if they like them or not anymore. If they can just disparage you and shit on your name, that's what they're going to do. And that goes for media. That goes for media. And we have, you can look at most of the people in that top 5, top 20. A lot of them are very they're spiteful people, and they don't play a lot of games with nobody. And Akademiks has been named the number one of that. Okay, now the reason that I'm doing this video, because this so-called war on the hip hop media. Let's talk about what Akademiks is saying. He's saying that Roc Nation, who he is legit, has been trying to bring down for years. He's been, let's keep it a buck. He's been getting paid by people who are going actively at Roc Nation. He's been sequestered by Roc Nation and has had several interviews in this Megan Thee Stallion thing, and they've accused him from getting paid by Tory Lanez and his camp to defend Megan, and it was absolutely obvious that he was going so hard. Akademiks was going so hard for Tory Lanez. He would post shit that had no merit whatsoever. It wasn't even close to being factual. He had to delete a couple of things because he was getting paid and getting pumped shit. Let's just be honest. Okay? Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly before these motherfuckers come. You know they like to sue, right? But at the end of the day, he was getting accused of that, and they started questioning him. Now, at some point, you got to expect them to start to investigate you. Okay? He's going to come in here and make himself a martyr. Oh, Roc Nation, not me. Gang, you've been at their ass since, you've been at Jay-Z's neck and everybody else's neck for years over this Megan shit. You've been coming at people nonstop. But when the minute that they come for you now is, it's me, Ak. You know how I do I got to defend myself. Defend yourself, my G. You put yourself in the middle of the shit. None of that Tory shit or Megan shit Akademiks wasn't there. He has nothing to do with it. Why did he jump in feet first in that thing? You got to ask yourself. He didn't just report on it. He didn't report on it. He became part of the story because now he's sitting in court or he's getting questioned by them more than once. So now he's a part of the case because of information that no one could have had unless it was his team telling him to post it. That's why they're questioning him. Okay? So at this point in time, he's inserted himself into that case. So now, when they're allegedly spying on you or trying to figure out, they're going to do recon on you. Make this shit make sense that they shouldn't. But Akademiks going to take that. Now I'm going to go scorched earth and rip. You were scorched earth anyway. When weren't you scorched earth? Like when did you not? When did you not have this war against everybody in the media? I'm curious. I don't understand this new victim mentality is permeated. It all comes with the administration, gang. We've been seeing this shit for damn near 20 years with this administration, where this guy would say the most heinous thing about anyone, women, men, anyone, and then when he gets it back even a little bit, then it's like, oh, you're gonna say that to me? I'm this guy. Now it's scorched earth. Now I'm gonna say anything about you and your kids and everything. This is what we got from the administration, this MAGA shit, and this is where it goes. And now it's trickling trickled into the entertainment world, and it's picked up by guys like this guy, Akademiks. So now it's I'm gonna attack, but I'm not gonna do it for long. Then when someone tries to give it back to me as good as I was giving it, now I'm the victim, and now I gotta go scorch earth, and I gotta unleash the Grand Wizard chat guy who has all this shit. Which might, by the way, he been doing this shit. It ain't nothing to unleash. It's just going to regurgitate everything he's already been saying about whoever. Okay? So Akademiks claims he hit up this guy and said, whatever you got on Charlemagne, run it. Right? Well, you got to think, this Grand Wizard chat guy, Steven Wynn, is a troll. He sits there with all this shit. You got to think how disgusting you got to be to sit at a computer with all these conspiracies and all this shit. You're ready to just launch. You can just imagine what this guy's hard drive look like. It's got to be gross as fuck. Right? And this is the guy that Complex tapped on the shoulder and said, this is the #1 guy in media. What does that mean? What is media then? What is media? If these guys could just launch attacks on him and get rewarded for this, he just permeating every single section of this. He doesn't support anything like real hip hop. It's about bullshit hip hop. It's about people that he decides to like, right? And I can sit here and name 5 people that Akademiks has backed over the past year. They ain't really fucking hip hop. They just motherfuckers that either pay in his ass or they fucking do the shit that he likes to hear. He's one of the worst when it comes to this. Half the hip hop people he got a beef with. He's the one that called them old and dusty. He said these niggas is from the 90s and 2000s, is old and dusty. They should have had better contracts. Akademiks is not #1 hip hop media, but he is a 100% troll, and he has forces that can go out here and attack. And I guarantee you, if Complex ever start making him drop down on that list, I guarantee you some of them people will get attacked too. So he uses that shit against them, and a lot of them know that. Some of these people are scared to get attacked by this guy. They scared of this Grand Wizard chat nigga. He gets to operate in anonymity, right? But the problem with that is people are starting to figure out who he is, and Akademiks is trying to make that as some type of crime to go look at, find out who he is. We should know who the fuck he is. He's going around saying the most disgusting things about everybody. He, all day, every day. He just sits there and type this bullshit all day, every day. Has no accountability. We don't know. We just found out his name last year. He been doing this for years. We didn't even know what Akademiks TV was until he started trolling Kendrick. No one even knew what it was. I followed it when it first came out. I didn't know what it was. And then they took it upon themselves to become the #1 the misinformation center of Kendrick Lamar. They talk stuff about this man's kids, his wife, everything. And this is what this guy promotes. And everything that goes up, Akademiks approves. Right? Remember a few years ago, it was a question of is Akademiks. First, people thought Akademiks was running it, but he couldn't be running. Half the time the shit was going, he was on live. So they like, Akademiks ain't running this TV, this channel. So who is? Right? It started to slowly come out that, it's this Grand Wizard chat nigga guy. He's running it. And then they found out his name. People started figuring it out. So then once we started figuring out, he got a guy, he tapped to the shoulder, some weird ass da-da-da. We started to focus on what's going on with this guy, who he is, but we never had any real concrete information. Well, somebody got tired of not having no concrete information, and they started trying to figure this guy out. I don't think that he should be able to be anonymous and just sit back and type all this shit, but Akademiks taking it as an attack. He's taking it as something he got to retaliate from. He's going to tear down the whole industry. But what does that look like? Akademiks releasing a whole bunch of dirt or rehashing shit, so his dirt ain't out there no more? The simple fact of the matter that he gets to launch dirt is wild as fuck to me when he got active cases himself. This guy has active cases, but he's threatening to unleash holy hell. What kind of world is this, gang? Like you're the guy that's going to unleash holy hell when you're sitting here with several cases? Like, this is what we're doing? And the problem is his fans, which they're out there, but they don't acknowledge it as much. They watch it. They silently watch it. They defend him a little bit. Like I said, if I can go in and write some shit about Drake, I'll get 100, 200 people coming, 300,000, whatever it is. Thousands of people coming every week to defend Drake. Every time I write about Akademiks, I might get 1, 2. It ain't a lot of people coming to defend him, but it's damn sure a lot of people watching him. Okay, so what I'm saying is there are a lot of people feeding that machine that makes him the #1 entity in hip hop, which is, I'm not even going to get too far in this hip hop media space because that has devolved into some shit as well. The people we are rewarding for that. We're slapping hip hop on anybody that can sit there and talk a little bit about hip hop and get a whole bunch of people to their channel. That is not, you're not discussing hip hop, my guy. You're discussing salacious shit. Okay? Now, what we got to understand is when we award him that, it shows people up and coming, this is what it should be. It should be like Akademiks. Only sit down with these young ass rappers who really not that good at rapping, got trash music, trash fucking beats. The shit is all garbage most of the time. A lot of the shit is unlistenable to people who really like hip hop. The fucking new generation, yeah, they love a lot of this shit. People we sit down with don't be knowing half these fucking niggas' names. Okay? But at the end of the day, people love that, and so he gets his numbers for that, right? A lot of these dudes he's sitting down with, half the time they're going to be in jail in 6 months. They really not about this culture, okay? So this is what he does for a living, and a lot of these guys that are tapped as the representatives of hip hop media, a lot of them are doing the same thing. They're not really covering it. They're not coming to the aid of when Nas got attacked by Jim Jones. They wasn't coming around to help. When Big Daddy Kane got attacked last week by Max B, they wasn't coming around to say nothing. A lot of these guys not defending our legends. They sit there and they trying to find out who gonna get them more clicks and views, who gonna get more shit that they can sit there and benefit from and cultivate into more fucking money for themselves. It's very selfish. The whole dynamic, the whole situation with Akademiks is a selfish situation where he's teaching everybody to go for yourself. Don't worry about nobody else. I got money. I get this, that. I can get a chain from Drake. All this bullshit. So it is very self-centered and is not conducive to what we want to say is the culture. So most of these guys are not the culture. Most of these guys are vying for an interview. Anybody that'll sit down with Kanye West with a KKK uniform on and not get the fuck up and walk out of there, you know he ain't hip hop media. He ain't for this culture, okay? But this is what we got to deal with. And this guy right here, literally, we could just have this conversation. Then he got people like Poetic Flacco who just attacked me last week, right? We had a whole back and forth. I made my response video on this, that, and the third, but Poetic Flacco has become Kanye's biggest supporter. Akademiks' biggest supporter. I think he wants to be in that light with Akademiks. Poetic Flacco has his own platform, his own people that watch him, this, that, and the third, but he is never regarded as an Akademiks, and I think he wants that. I think he wants to be looked at as that. I don't even think he made that list at all. I don't think he was anywhere on that media list, right? So he somehow wants to stick his foot in it, so he's been going to bat for Akademiks for a while. Right, and the simple fact of the matter is he's doing more damage than Akademiks. Let's just be honest, because Akademiks would do his live, and the people that watch him will sit there and ha ha he. But Poetic Flacco has a different crowd, and he brings Akademiks nonsense to that crowd. He has a more illustrious, I want to say, not illustrious, but a more mixed crowd than Akademiks, right? Poetic Flacco does a lot of stories that have nothing to do with hip hop. They're bigger stories, and he's drawn a lot of people over there. So now he takes the Akademiks shit over there and makes Akademiks look like some kind of victim to the people that don't know. So now they're running over there in defense of Akademiks. It's weird. It's a weird dynamic. Poetic Flacco has chosen this side, this semi-MAGA, this weird ass attack first and then be a victim later. It's all a situation that has made itself apparent to people like myself that it's a whole thing where it's a us versus them situation. And when it's like what I said about with bullies, when they punch you, they kick you, they do this, that, and the third. As soon as you try to defend yourself, they get madder, and now they want to really hurt you because, how dare you stand up to me? But Akademiks will bully you. Poetic Flacco, they'll bully you, and then when you stand up, they want to come and try to give you copyright strikes and shit like that and take your channel down and this, that, and the third, right? So we see this in real time. We see that Poetic Flacco wants to get on there and take his little digs and act like, he wants to say his little shit and constantly demean people, but then Point and Shoot comes out and starts calling his ass Frederick Jala and start making videos about him. He wants to sue him and take the shit down. So they can't take it. They can dish the shit, but they can't take it. And Akademiks is the same way. He can't take it. He wants to dish the shit. If you sit and listen to Akademiks live, this guy is he has no compassion for nobody. It'll be the slightest conversation. It'll devolve into all kind of degrading shit about anyone. So he has no problems with coming and attacking people. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just keeping it a bean. Da, da, da. But as soon as that person retaliates in the slightest, now it's all on war. He's banging his desk. He wants to throw the microphone down. He doesn't do that. But what I'm saying is he wants to get so mad because they actually challenged him back. And you see how he acts, especially when it's a woman. Right, especially when it's a female, this guy gets even madder. You're a bitch, you're a hoe, you're this, that, and the third. It's a whole other level of disrespect that he just doesn't have no chill for. Okay, so but I want to talk about this because this thing with Charlamagne and DJ Akademiks, like I said, both of them are very They're passive aggressive and aggressive at the same time, but they have this frenemy thing going on with all of these guys in this business gang. That's why I don't talk to a lot of these niggas. I'm just gonna be honest. But a lot of these guys pretend to be cool and pretend to like each other and this, that, and the third, and that's fine. That's how it is in all work situations. You are cordial until you're not, right? Now, these two guys, you can see just like Joe Budden and Charlemagne, and just like Akademiks and Joe Budden, they all have this relationship where it's up and then it's down and it's up again. But if it's time to push the button, they will, because they don't care really about each other. Let's just be honest. I want to read this little thing that I brought up about these two guys so we can have a deeper understanding of what's going on. DJ Akademiks and Charlemagne the God are two of the most prominent polarizing voices in hip-hop media. Their relationship has been a dynamic mix of mutual respect, mentorship, and periodic conflict. Their core friction points. Akademiks is known for a raw, unfiltered, and highly opinionated approach. He frequently covers the industry from an insider fan perspective. Charlemagne, conversely, takes a more traditional, journalistic, and occasionally moralistic stance on The Breakfast Club. So now let me continue with the dynamic between them and Drake. This is where they kind of clash at. Their differing stances are often center around Drake. Akademiks has historically been one of Drake's most vocal defenders, while Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club team frequently hold the artist to higher criticism, which irritates Akademiks. Gang, that's why I tell you they have a frenemy relationship. They play nice, but they really this Drake thing really gets under both of their skins because they don't meet in the middle on that. They agree to disagree, but that's something seething under the surface, and it bothers both of them. So they're always ready to really launch into a full-on tirade because they can't believe the other one thinks the way that they do. Let me continue. Industry politics. Tensions routinely rise when the two debate how a story is reported or when Charlemagne uses his platform to criticize Akademiks' methods. Their current relationship status. Recent tensions. A rift formed when Charlemagne allegedly gave a courtesy call warning Akademiks against people moving against him. Akademiks subsequently went on a live stream rant, feeling it was a betrayal of the media rule to never reveal your sources. Their historical ties. Despite their explosive arguments, they have a long-standing relationship. Akademiks has frequently credited Charlemagne for helping pave the way for his entry into mainstream radio and media. And the two even sat down for prominent on-camera debates during the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. Like I said, they pretend to be frenemies and they pretend to be beneficial, just like Charlemagne sitting down with Joe Budden. But sooner or later, you're not going to be able to do that because there is way too much tension below the surface, right? Between these two guys because the Drake situation and others, they're trying to compete for that number one spot. Although they try to pretend like they don't want it, as soon as they get it, they bragging about it. So that complex list means a lot to them, and it definitely means a lot to Akademiks because he was bitching about it when these guys got. I think Roy and Maul may have got hired to him one year, and he had a fucking full-on meltdown. So end of the day, I don't know who it was he melted down about, but he melted down about this list. Okay, so what we're seeing is a guy who cherishes winning by any means necessary. He did a whole video interview after he won talking about everybody else on the list, okay? So what we got to understand is they're lowering the standards of what can be considered hip-hop media. And this is where we are, where you can just be nasty, degrading, don't check sources, say shit you want to say, do anything you want to do, and have these awful charges against you. Gang, I want to talk about this real quick because Charlemagne, DJ Akademiks, and Poetic Flacco all have some very questionable things going on, but they don't want to talk about that. They just want to attack the other guy, right? Now, they're going to have a whole lot of accusations coming out, this, that, and the third, and it's going to be a lot said in the future, but Akademiks has an open case right now with his ex, right? She alleged that during a July 22 visit to his home, she was drugged and sexually assaulted by two of his friends. She further alleged that Akademiks himself brutally assaulted her later that night and later used security footage to mock her. And I did remember him going the next day clowning that girl. I couldn't believe it, but that's where we are. A girl can levy these kind of accusations, and the guy can go live the next day and clown that same girl and still be considered number one media. But that's what media is these days. Right? It's Diddy on the elevator kicking Cassie. That's what people want to see. People gravitate to that kind of shit, and they want to understand what happened, who did what to who, and this is where we are. And when we see these people, we start to big them up because they can get eyes on them. And this is where it is with Akademiks. Akademiks 100%. Is let's just be honest. I'm not gonna say he as slimy as Diddy, but he's done some stuff where you could say, well, Akademiks, what's going on with you? Okay, now. He got a Twitch ban for the grooming allegations back in 2025. He faced severe public backlash that resulted in his permanent ban from Twitch. He had an explicit, sexually frank audio engaging in an inappropriate conversation with a 15-year-old streamer. The industry outlets like The Breakfast Club broadcast the audio and condemned his behavior. Following his ban, which is one of the reasons he got a problem with Akademiks, he played nice with him, but he never forgot that shit. Following his ban, Akademiks migrated his streaming operations primarily to YouTube and Rumble. Now imagine how angry he had to be that he lost that Twitch and that Charlemagne and them helped fuel that fire and fan that, right? And Charlemagne had to know what he was doing by putting it out there and by condemning it. So Charlemagne had one up him at that point in time, but it ain't looking good right now because Akademiks came back wearing the 4-5 like Jordan, and it ain't to play games with you, right? He somehow got all his information that we forgot about, and they revved it up, they ramped it up. But I told you, the Grand Wizard chat guy sit there all day, every day, in his fucking hoodie, eating Fritos and shit, and just typing on the goddamn keyboard, got cheese all over the fucking keyboard, and this is all he does. So he got an attack dog out here launching attacks, but this is considered media. Let me continue. The war in Chirac and the culture vulture accusations. He initially gained mainstream notoriety through his YouTube series, The War in Chirac, which I had seen for years ago, right? Critics and hip-hop artists and community activists heavily condemned him for treating real-life gang violence, shootings, and murders as casual internet entertainment. Many in the hip-hop industry labeled him a culture vulture, accusing him of profiting off the deaths of young black artists without contributing positively to the culture. Okay, so end of the day, and he used to fight make them beefs worth. He would fuel those beefs and make these people do more shit just to get on his radar to get reported on. So it was a whole thing, and culture vultures don't gotta be white gang. They can be any color, and a lot of them are black. That's the one thing people don't tell you when they throw around that culture vulture word. If you really understand the meaning of it, it's somebody who really ain't in it, but they find a way to get money from it, okay? And they find a way to use it to their advantage, but they really don't care about it. That's the definition of it. And Akademiks 100% fits that because he doesn't care about this culture. Very, very little. He cares about the money he gets from it. But to him, most of the pioneers are dusty, okay? And that's enough for him because there's a whole lot of stuff with the media bias and the Drake allegations and Vic Mensa and Meek Mill. It's a whole lot of shit went on with Akademiks. But end of the day, it's not the point that he has all these various allegations. That right there that I told you is enough for him to be almost put out of here. But nope. All he did was kept going, kept making streams, and somehow, some way, right? He made everybody forget what he did and what he's accused of doing, and now he's #1 media, and they're not asking him about that shit no more, right? Because court cases take time, so you can sit there and you can wait years for a court case to really come through, only for the shit to be thrown out. So we don't know what's going to happen with it as of right now. None of it. He still got the court cases for the state gambling, which I'm sure he's not going to take no hit. He will tell everything that he needs to tell if and when it does go to trial. So we got that to go on. And the simple fact of the matter is, all of these guys got shit going on, but they'll weaponize your shit. They'll find out stuff about you and weaponize it against you, and that makes them media. At one point, as a media, you used to have to prove shit. You used to have sources. You have to say things that, okay, we vetted this story 100 times. Nope, they don't vet shit. They just throw it up on the Akademiks TV and put another one up right after that. They've been trying to tear down K-Dot and a whole bunch of people for years, and we've seen it in real time. And we know for a fact that Drake is in that guy's DM because someone went and screenshotted all the conversations between Drake and Akademiks TV, and we know that he's paid Akademiks TV before. So we already know that they get paid by Drake too. Well, not necessarily Akademiks. We don't know how much he's getting from Drake because he keep claiming that he's not getting anything, but we know how that go. But we do know Akademiks TV was getting paid a bunch because that already came out. They was already sending him stuff over there through the stake tipping app for this, that, and the third. And he was giving Drake advice, and that's why some of them lyrics in the Hot Part 6 came directly from the Akademiks TV because Drake didn't even know to say that we fed you the information. That was in the DM from Akademiks TV to Drake, and he put that in the thing because he wasn't even thinking about that. And in the text between them two, Akademiks TV, aka Stephen Wynn, the Grand Wizard chat guy, gave him that idea to say we fed you the information. Okay, all of that shit is public knowledge that already came out. Okay, so end of the day, we got a guy who can be paid, who can be bought. He's coming out launching attacks, openly saying, I'm going to launch attacks, and this is what it is, but we still give him that media badge. And it's weird to me, it's insane that we can sit here and make a case for a guy who sits there hold on the dirt, and openly would tell you, I'm going to launch and I'm going to kill your career. He told Lil Baby that a few weeks ago, and he tried, okay? When he heard that Drake was allegedly putting him on that album, which I don't know if he made the album or not, but he told him he was going to do everything he could to stop that record. This is a media guy trying to stop another rapper from getting paid, another rapper from being on the album. It's the weirdest shit ever. He wields this power, and I'm gonna say we let him walk around and do this shit, but at some point it's time to draw back, and somebody else got to step in here and start to balance this shit out, because right now the media for so-called hip-hop is super unbalanced. You got to be mad bombastic to even get your voice heard. You got to be ridiculous to get your voice heard, and that's why I'm doing what I do, because I got to be a certain way to get my voice heard, because this thing right now is out of control, and hip-hop is losing itself, is dying. They're making it all about the numbers and trying to make this guy the bubble bath rapper, the king of it, the head of it. Absolutely not on my watch. So end of the day, this is what it is. We're ramping up our shit over here on this side because this shit over there is so ramped up and egregious to what we call this culture. And we're looking at people being, you're literally being chosen or not chosen by academics to be worthy of praise, or just be treated like a pariah. He gets to pick and choose and go out and slander you or say that you're cool. Not on my watch. I'm not having this. This is some bullshit. And what we're going to start doing, we got to speak out against this, because I don't think Livingston gets to decide what artists can be here, what artists can be there, and who he can just throw these accusations on and try to destroy. He's been trying to destroy Kendrick. He's still trying to destroy him to this day. And when we're watching the party die, and he hates it, and this is where he is. He's going to launch all this shit and give Grand Wizard Chat Guy all the approval that he needs to just be 10 times worse than he ever was. Like I said, this ain't about Charlemagne and whoever else is at war with Akademiks. This is 100% about Akademiks having the actual audacity to think he can openly say, I'm going to go to war. I'm going to destroy these people just because I can. Put my finger on the button. And he ain't even really got a good reason for it. Explain the reason in the comments for this shit against Charlemagne. Let's just be honest. Charlemagne ain't nobody to be defending at the end of the day. He's done his whole shit too. Got a whole lot of charges on him, this, that, and the third. But let's just be honest. The so-called beef is dumb. He called you to tell you some shit, to watch your back, and you in essence attack him. It don't make no sense. Now you ain't got no fucking who you gonna get the information from, the dirt from last time, the next time, dumbass. The simple fact of the matter is, when nations go to war and they have a spy, they have a double agent in the building, they don't blow up the double agent, dumbass. They keep the double agent so he can keep bringing back information. Akademiks so goddamn dumb, he don't even understand the basic laws of fucking war. He's a fucking idiot. So he launches an attack against Charlemagne, makes all this noise, and now Charlemagne got to defend himself, this, that, and the third. Charlemagne could have been telling you this, that, and the third, who doing what to who, but you're so dumb you didn't even think about that. Right? Which I'm sure he thought about it, but he's like, it'd be more beneficial to just attack him because it's going to get more numbers, more content. This is what he needs to keep that number one. He's looking at next year's list. He wants to be on next year's list. So if he attack number one, I believe Charlemagne was like number 3 or some shit like that. So guess what? If he could get him out of here, it's a win-win, gang. He could still be number 1 again, repeat, and get Charlemagne ass down to number 20 or something like that. So it's all calculated. But end of the day, when these guys' whole mission is to destroy each other and destroy everybody that's good in hip-hop, like the Clips and Kendrick and this, that, and the third, then somebody got to step in and balance this shit out and try to kind of put them in their fucking place. And that's what we here for, gang. So end of the day, enjoy this time while you got it, Akademiks, because we here to talk about bringing this shit back to hip-hop. You're bigger than the program, and I don't like that situation at all. I don't like that you're bigger than hip-hop. You can move the needle and say these things and push narratives and make people decide or not to decide that somebody that is really trying to be about this culture is not worthy. I'm not feeling it. I'm not jacking it, and it is what it is. We're going to see where it goes from here. We got a lot of people on this side, too, that's making noise. So let's see what the list look like next year, and let's see if we can get that list abolished altogether. I don't know. Who fucking knows? We'll see. End of the day, let me know what you think in the comments, man. CLBMG. Head on over to black-yeti.com. They ship all over the continental U.S. Also, every Wednesday night, we go live on the West Show. Me, TJ, and Flares lock in. I got the Patreon account. Head over to my Patreon, Charles Brown. I put a lot of content over there daily, and I put exclusive content on there, too. You can join for free. All right, lock in. Listen, the What Project, that's on all streaming platforms. Me, TJ, and Flares. We got a new video called Peanut Butter Tims. Go check that out. Get in them comments, share that video. I'm out of here, man. I ain't got nothing else to say about this, man. I'm gonna catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within, with the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like past fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here and we ain't the cheese, we the trap.